Alrighty, so I got the opportunity to visit the exA-Arcadia. I'm going to call it Arcadia before too long. Offices in Tokyo. And so I reached out to them. They seem to be one of the very few groups who are actively chasing low input lag with their arcade systems, and had kind of self-reported very low values, 0.3 of a frame, for their input lag compared to original hardware. And so I was hoping I might be able to, I guess, run it through my testing setup and see whether, very low input lag measurements would be possible, or how quick things can go. So I started with Gimmick Exact Mix. This is I think an old platform game. It had pretty low input lag from what we thought. And so already, if you just scroll through a frame of animation or so, you jump. So that's where the video interrupt happened, and then on the very next frame the guy is jumping, which is absolutely very rapid response. So I've run it through a large number of tests, so almost 50 tests here, and you can see that he responds very quickly. Now it's worth mentioning, so that's an interesting one, just that for some reason for this one he goes from grounded to his second jump frame animation, and for this one seems to have skipped the single frame there for some reason. Anyway, there's a difference in how we report our input lag, which I need to mention, only because, so this is averaging across these 49 tests, 15 milliseconds of input lag, which, as you can appreciate, is about as low as it gets. With their results, they kind of report it as how long the game takes to respond, whereas I've always reported my input lag as how long, on average, the controller plus the game take to respond. So the quickest response will come here, and so you can see this one is 7 milliseconds of input lag. So if the button press happens here, it'll take 7 milliseconds to get to the bottom of the screen, 60 frame per second image, 16.66 milliseconds per frame, so just under half of that. And then by the time it started drawing the next frame, no VSync off or tearing or any of that, he's already jumping in that next frame. So their results kind of look at how long the game takes to respond. My results have always been how long the controller, which will be somewhere in here, and the game take to respond. If you want to equilibrate the two, then you just take 8.33 milliseconds off my results. I've left mine as they are, just because I've got some 500 or so tests, and it would throw it out of whack with those. And also, if people wanted to test with LEDs lighting up, button controllers and so on, and they don't know where in the frame they're pushing the button, then this probably matches up better for them. But anyway, subframe, so less than a frame, whether you are talking about just how long the game takes to respond, or even when you're talking about how long the game and the controller, with that button input happening somewhere within a 16 millisecond window,